Let's go crypto investing this May the 12th, 2025 daily cryptocurrency nightly update. And if we get right on into this and look at some of the news, there was something interesting that I seen with Bitcoin inflows earlier. Let's see. And we're here with True Trust Education and Information here, and this channel is built for the retail trader, which that would be you. I'm not sure where that went. MicroStrategies buys, no. Goldman Sachs bets on Bitcoin with 1.4, there we go. 1.4 billion via BlackRock ETF, 500 and hundreds, 100,000 million, 100 million, billion, 516 billion, billion, set to be hit. Crypto News Digest. Let's see what's happening. According to the SEC filing, Goldman Sachs has subsequently increased its investment in the cryptocurrency market, becoming the largest institutional holder of BlackRock's iShares Bitcoin Trust, IBIT, with 30.8 million shares valued at over 1.4 billion. This represents a 28% increase from the previous holding and 24 million shares in positions Goldman Sachs ahead of other major investors. uh, Signaling strong confidence in the Bitcoin ETF. By the end of 2024, the bank's total crypto ETF holdings reached 2.05 billion, with another 1.3 billion BlackRock ETF and 300 million in Fidelity. This reflects a huge 50% increase in their crypto ETF exposure compared to the 720 million total from the previous quarter. Shiba Inu is moving closer to a critical price range that could decide its next major move. Right. So we got banks buying, which is very bullish. And that's the reason that the price is obviously up this high, because there are banks buying and the banks are buying a lot of Bitcoin. They're buying a lot of other cryptocurrencies, a select few cryptocurrencies, but they are purchasing. And you can see the price has been appreciating essentially for 2 decades now, with big corrections and crashes, but appreciating nonetheless. And you can see this is where we're at right now. We're starting to trade back down. If we look at the daily time frame and the Bitcoin price, you can see we had that freshly minted bullish cross. And the daily time frame, this is our first uh, real red candle in about a week. And we had the indecision candle with the one that just closed, and we have a red candle so far, but the daily candle just opened. And right now, if this does turn to the south, and we've been looking at this ever since the price has been moving up and sideways in a rising channel, the volume in the three pumps has come down in each pump. You can see the volume. Look at the volume. Pump number one, pump number two, pump number three, right? The volume has been falling in each case. Usually that's indicative of a price exhausting and it's going to come down. And we've been saying, and we believe, and I believe here, that this will eventually come down and we will eventually come back down to the $73,000 level. But there's existential things that take place, like the tariff news, that can interrupt even the most technical of patterns, right? And textbook of patterns. But right now, what we're watching for is the price to come back down to the 97,000 critical support level, see if it has a little bit of a return rally. And if it slips that, you would see a very fast fall all the way back down to the 90,000, or to this blue major horizontal support and resistance level, right? So that's what we're looking for with the Bitcoin price. I still believe this is going to come back to the downside. It hasn't broken a new high yet, and until it does, this could just be a prototypical textbook, playbook, retail investor, bull trap, to fleece, heist, and shiest. Uh, the misinformed again, and to trap them for a third time up near a high, just to have the price come out from underneath them again and put them in a state of flux and panic, right? So we're going to continue to watch out for that. Let's go look at some of these other altcoins before I forget. We have uh we have Coreum. Coreum was on a phenomenal pump, but you can see Coreum has come back down in the daily time frame. You can see the 200-day, it's sitting just above the 200-day now. It got rejected essentially by the 100-day. It wicked all the way up to about 18 cents, but essentially the 100-day moving average trapped it. We called that pump from back here. We were waiting for this even before all these coins started to blow up, and it did come all the way up to just under 18 cents. We thought it could come up as high as the 20 cents potentially. And right now it's starting to consolidate back down. Is this to consolidate for good, or is this just one of these consolidations right here, where then it holds support on the 50-day moving average and then makes another leg to the upside and comes up to 20 cents? That's something that we're going to watch. But in Quorum right now, the critical area is to stay on top of this 50-day moving average, which you are right now. You can consolidate on it, and that's bullish, but you don't want to break below it and then start using it as resistance. So that's what we're looking at in Quorum. XCon, the same thing. We had the big pump and we got the telegraphed rejection up there at the 0.02285, or the light pink slash light purple color. And then we came back down to where we thought we would, just above or almost dead on this purple zone, which would be the 0.015, or a major support level, and just above the 100-day moving average. And now we've been trading sideways for a couple of days. And what we're watching here now is, does this make another leg to the downside now? As you got major resistance up here, then you slipped, little consolidation. Now on your next leg down, do you slip below the 100-day moving average in blue and slip below this 0.0150 and start using this as major resistance? Because on any of these coins that just had these most recent pumps like this right here, where it was from wick low to wick high, it was a 258% pump, 260% pump. It'll give that back in the blink of an eye if you can't hold major support levels. So that's something that we're watching out for. And if it did slip back below this purple zone, a logical spot where it would go if it came down, traded, and then slipped, come right down to the 200-day moving average. That would be your area of major support within that darker purple zone right there, right? So that's something that we're going to be paying attention to over the next week. I think the next week is going to have a lot of consolidations, and a lot of coins are going to have retest of major areas that they're trying to hold as support. The same thing, still do not want to buy your ad-free nonsense. The same thing you can see here in VTHO. We had that massive pump that we told you not to buy into the pump because there'd be better buying opportunities, and it did. And this pump, not even counting the November, but let's go from the November pump all the way up to where it maxed out at 800%. It gave up. It gave how much of that back? 84% of that, and it was near where the pump started. And we were harping on that when you guys brought this coin to my attention back here in the winter time of January, February, into March, right? And we came all the way back down. Then we pumped up to the 100-day moving averages, which has been major resistance and support, and it's holding it as resistance again. It's just below the 100-day moving average, and that's what you want to hold. You got to stay above the 100-day moving average to make a run up at the 0.003676. If you fall below, like you are now, and can't get back above the 100-day moving average, you would come back to 0.002111, major underneath support in the VTHO. The LCX, I think we haven't talked about. You can see the LCX after it had its pump, it did get shot down by the moving averages, something that we were following and seeing if that's what would actually happen, and that is what actually happened. And we came right back down to our support level at 14 cents, and now this is a critical area. We're at the 14 cents major support level. Are we going to hold that and pump to the upside and have a ferocious rally and breach through these moving averages and try to make a run up to 22 cents? Or are we going to start to get chopped down after some trading here, use this as major resistance and have a confirmed flip and start to trade down, coming back to the downside closer to the 0.0926 level? That's something that's very interesting and something that we're going to have to pay attention to over the coming days. The Velo. You can see we've had a nice pump off of a major dump after this coin was brought to my attention, and we identified this rising wedge where you have a wide pattern to start and then it narrows like a duck's beak at the end before there has to be a technical breakout. And as we do know, seven, 6.5 to 7 out of 10, they break to the downside. And when this coin came to our attention, we were attempting a breakout up here, and then we had a full lateral flush. And the great commenter said I was the only one being bearish on the low at the end of the last hysteric bull market in December. I believe when they brought me to this coin, we were back in here. Yeah, late December and very early January. We were on the top side of that major upper resistance. And we talked about how you could come all the way back down to, at the time, the lower support was down in this area in early to mid-February. And we came below it and ended up coming all the way down to 0.008687, and actually had a magnificent flush from peak to trough, about 76.69%, right? And right now we're trying to fight through the moving averages. We're holding the 50-day as support. You got to hold that 50-day in the daily time frame to stay bullish, and maybe you could try to make a run at the 0.019894 or major upper resistance of that rising wedge. Or if you can't get above and you end up slipping the 50-day moving average, you could come back down very quickly to this local bottom right now. Like the channel, subscribe to the page, and help make this the most influential and educational crypto channel out there on YouTube for you, the retail trader and investor. Peace and love to my beautiful audience.